To be beyond limits is to be in a feeling of expansiveness, a feeling of freedom, of lightness, of power. It is to be in our spiritual reality. There are many things we can do to go beyond limits, but this meditation is one simple exercise. Ask yourself gently now, what is the limit that is holding you back? What is the limit that is holding you back from being who you are born to be? Maybe it's a fear, maybe it's laziness, doubt, lack of self-respect. But gently bring to your mind that limit. And now set sail on the sea that takes you far away from that limit, to a place where it doesn't even exist. And gently reflect on this question. Who would you be without that limit? Who would you be without that limit? How would you feel inside without that limit? Allow that pure feeling of joy, of expansiveness, of aliveness to grow inside of you. And if your mind wanders, gently come back to the reflection. Who would you be? How would you feel without that limit? Let that expansion well up inside of you. Let that well up inside of you. And enjoy being liberated from that in these moments. And now reflect on how would you react to the world around you differently? How would you respond to the world around you? If you were free of that limit, how would you be in your relationships, in your work, in your play? Allow the reality of that good feeling of expansiveness and freedom to grow inside of you. And take a few moments to reflect on that. How would your relationships, connections, work, and play be different without that limit? There are many ways and efforts that we can make to transcend our limits. But one simple thing we can do is to take small moments to experience ourselves beyond that limit, to experience the reality of being without that limit. Because we often have the habit of seeing ourselves in the cage of that limitation. So by seeing ourselves, even if only for a few moments every day beyond that, we are drawing to ourselves that reality of being free, being expansive, being wider, more open, more joyful. By creating that vibration, we are dissolving the power of the limit. This is just one simple exercise to carry us forward on the trail towards spiritual freedom. So much of the time, we try to satisfy the appetite of the soul with the things of the world. We fill ourselves with relationships and we satisfy the cravings of our desires. We fill ourselves with position and external things of the world, but yet, in the same way, empty calories leave you unsatisfied. We find that the soul still feels an emptiness inside. It still feels a craving, a hunger for something deeper. Contentment merely means that the belly of the soul is full. It wants nothing because it feels so satisfied with the real substance of the soul. Take a deep breath now and leave your world. Move to the edge of the world where there is nothing physical, no sound, no drama, no responsibilities to uphold. Just let them all go. As you settle into a place of silence and stillness, in front of you is a radiant sunlight of spiritual energy, full of all the beautiful things of the soul. Love, light, peace. Allow yourself to fill yourself with this light. Let the rays of peace and serenity enter into you and breathe them in fully. Fill the belly of the soul with the vibrations of pure, peaceful, spiritual energy. With each breath, you savor and take in even more peace. And knowing that love is what the universe is made of, breathe in that energy of gentleness, radiating from this light, that energy of love, connection, belonging, and feel yourself connected to the whole of humanity. Breathing as one as we take in this energy of pure spiritual love. Notice how light you begin to feel, how weightless, as if there is no gravity. And allow yourself to soak and bathe and take in the energy of pure joy. What does that feel like? To completely fill the belly of the soul with the energy of joy. See this light pouring into you, creating a warm inner smile in the heart. If I want to experience contentment and satisfaction, every now and then, I have to learn to step away from the world and move into silence and stillness. I need to take a vacation away from the world so I can go and fill the belly of the soul with the real, eternal, imperishable, beautiful qualities of the Spirit that give me a feeling of fullness, complete satisfaction, and a quiet joy that makes me feel as if all is well in my world and is only getting better.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Smart Parenting, Vitamins for Smart Parenting from BRAHMAKUMARIS, Silicon Valley. I'm Meghna, your facilitator for this course. We'll get started with the Raj Yoga meditation. For some of you who might be new to these series, so at Brahmakumaris, we practice Raj Yoga meditation, and I just want to kind of give you a few brief instructions. Raj Yoga meditation is a technique where we consciously create positive thoughts, elevated thoughts. The main reason behind is in our day-to-day living, we tend to think in a very ordinary manner and sometimes in a derogatory manner about ourselves and maybe even about others. So this practice is to really elevate our thinking, because the basis of our emotions, of our words and actions is thoughts. Everything starts at the thought level, at the seed level. So here in Raj Yoga, we educate our mind to create like I said, very positive thoughts. So I will be saying some thoughts out loud, and will have some background music on my phone. If you're unable to hear it, feel free to put your own music if you want to. In this meditation practice, two things have helped me a lot. Every thought that is sent my way, I've accepted it with open arms. I've not questioned it, I've not challenged it. So I would request you to sit yourself in a spiritual lab and think that you're experimenting with something new. Every thought that Meghna is sending your way, it is personally meant for you. So accept it. See how it feels after you accept it. Generally, these thoughts are very elevated, so they make our heart feel very warm, full of love, happiness. So that's one. Second thing is to visualize the thoughts in your mind. Create beautiful pictures about these thoughts. Pictures enable the heart to activate and participate in meditation. So we don't want this to be a very boring practice where, we are just kind of robotically trying to force ourselves to think something. No, we are actually trying to feel something very beautiful, very positive, very loving, very divine. It's a time to really get some real rest for the mind, and the mind feels rested when it is thinking very positively. So, without any further ado, I'll get started with the meditation, but let me just share my screen, um, and then we'll get started. So this is a 6-week series. You might have gotten the notice that there are some days we don't have classes, and I'll keep you informed as we go through it. But every week we'll be spending time on one deficiency, and I'm calling it parenting deficiency. You might not agree, but this is my, and you can call it Brahmakumari's take at it. So today's topic, we are going to find vitamins, spiritual vitamins for curing the parenting deficiency, anger. And then we will go on with these other deficiencies. And for each of them today, let's find out what is the vitamin A to get over anger. But first, let's start with meditation. It's time to get some real rest for the mind and the body. So let's sit comfortably, feet on the ground, back straight, and body as still as possible. For a few minutes, withdraw your mind from work, home, people, past. Let's put everything aside. And let's take a journey within to be with the most beautiful being, I, the soul. I am a divine fresh and fragrant energy. I come from the land of silence, nirvana, a world beyond the physical world, where everything is filled with light. I, the energy, the soul, takes a physical costume in this physical world to play my role as a daughter, mother, wife, friend, engineer. I am one, but I do play many roles. I, the actor, the energy, the soul. Has beautiful qualities. And when I remember my innate natural qualities, the roles I play become magical. So what are my qualities? I am pure. I am peace. I am love. I am happiness. I am bliss. I am wise. And I am powerful. The awareness of these qualities that I, the soul, possesses changes the expression of my face. My aura becomes clean and shining, and others can feel my pure, powerful vibrations. I am a divine, unique, and special being. Every being in this webinar is filled with love and wisdom. Every being in my city is filled with love and wisdom. Every being in our world is filled with love and wisdom. Thank you, dear God, for making me loveful and giving me a beautiful life. Welcome everyone once again to BRAHMAKUMARIS, Vitamins for Smart Parenting. Go ahead and just unmute you all so that you are able to participate. The format of this class, some of you or most of you might be the ones who have taken these classes before. The format is really discussion based, so feel free to speak up, share your ideas, or ask your questions as they come along. Um, but let me just go ahead and allow you all to talk whenever you need to. So just give me a minute to do that. All right. So I think I have unmuted all of you, but I mean, you're still muted. You can unmute yourself and talk, but I would appreciate if you're not talking to mute yourself because it's going to be disturbing. Otherwise, so I'm going to mute the ones who are unmuted accidentally. All right. Let me get started. So today's, like I said, we are going to talk about anger. As you can see, I don't think this deficiency really needs any kind of introduction or definition or anything like that, unlike some others which might require. Um, this one, as you can see, is a very violent emotion as such. The one who's experiencing it feels so much negative energy that they can literally push their hand through a wall, create a big hole in the wall, right? And I've actually seen someone do this. Well, I've not seen them actually do it. I've seen the hole later after they had done it. So I can completely believe this picture that this is the kind of um, negative power one feels when you are consumed by anger. So let's start by understanding, really what is the root cause of the anger. So really the way we will flow through these classes are really to understand what is the root cause of each of these deficiency, and then also try to understand what are the damages from it, and then we work on what are the vitamins, right? What is the antidote to get over it. And as time permit, we will go through various different practical examples, like really real life situations. In those situations where we tend to express this parental deficiency, how would the alternative look like, right? How do we change from not using that deficiency? So today on anger, really two main causes for anger are really expectations. They're kind of interconnected to each other, but just for the sake of kind of highlighting it a little bit better, I have kind of grouped them into two separate things. So let's start. Let me just actually use the annotation so that it becomes easier. So expectations doesn't match reality. I think majority of us are very familiar with it, that each one of us tends to have a lot of expectations from our kids. Some of us might have way more than others, right? Like for example, some of us might have few expectations, others might be somewhere here on the high side. When we are here on the high side, it's literally like micromanaging every little detail of the child, how they're sitting, where they're sitting, how they're eating, how fast are they eating. For everything, you have something to say. This is where it's literally a lot of control. Expectation to some extent is a form of controlling others. Now, in every relationships, yes, we do have certain boundaries. And as a parent, we do want to create certain boundaries so that the kids not only stay, some boundaries are essential and crucial, like the safety and the security, right? The health, safety, and the security itself. So yes, those are essential. And then other than that, we as parents are also responsible to guide the kids to become a well balanced child and an adult later, right? Whether it is their manners, their etiquettes, their education, where should they go, where they should not go. So yes, there are certain boundaries through which we guide them, but these become way too much when we are literally after them on every little small detail. We have feedback about everything. We want them to do things exactly the way we like, and which is okay that you are there as a parent to guide, but then your expectations are very, very heavy, meaning the moment the kid does not meet that expectation, your happiness is gone. So your happiness is actually dependent on the child meeting those expectations. And the moment they don't meet, because you are not, you thought you would be happy once the child does something, you would be happy. So then your happiness is gone because the child didn't meet that expectation. So you feel very, very angry. So when your emotions become dependent on expectations, then the emotion anger, the negative emotion anger emerges. So bottom line is, every human being, a soul, human being the soul, core desire is to be happy, to be peaceful, to be loved. And when we say, I can be happy, when we put conditions to our happiness, we say, I can't be happy till my child does this, 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 and this. So there are so many this. And only when everything is done, then I will be happy. So I'm postponing my happiness. And then the child does not do it. So then I keep getting, because my core need is not being met and I hold my child responsible for it, I get angry at them. And to some extent, again, very connected to this is, I am saying, I am a I am a parent. I am the elder one. I know better. I have lived longer life. I'm supposed to bring you up. You need to listen to me because I am the parent and you are the child. So this incorrect identification of the self being the parent, the bigger and the superior one, and this is not so much in consciously that we are aware of it, but subconsciously, this is how we feel, that I am wiser, I am better, I know everything better. And true, to some extent, that is very true. But I think the reality also is that the time and the generation is very different from what it was when we were young as parents. So many times when we feel my respect is completely dependent on the child being obedient, then also we start feeling very insulted the moment the child is not listening, not cooperating, not doing exactly what we are asking them to do. We feel insulted or very disappointed. So it depends upon your personality type. If you are of this personality type who is generally a high self-esteem, superiority complex, you'll get very insulted when they don't listen to you. Or if you are generally on that inferiority side, low self-esteem, then you feel very disheartened. Every time a child doesn't listen to you, you get very disheartened. And typically, this then results in anger, trying to control the child, because after all, your self-esteem is dependent on the child listening to you. So you will use anger or any other method to make sure that your self-respect is intact. And that particular point, we are not thinking anymore about Why do we want kids? Why do we expect kids to say yes to everything? Do we want them to be a puppet when they grow up? Now they are saying yes to me, and I'm training that child to say yes to everything of mine. Do I want this child to grow up and say yes to everyone in future? Because that is what will happen. They will say yes to all their friends, they will yes to their partner, their sibling, their whoever they meet, their boss, their colleagues, everyone. Do I want my child to be literally like a puppet who has no opinion, no stand, is just a dummy? Sometimes we need to ask ourselves these pricky questions when we are getting very high on the expectation side. So, really, the kids are just being kids. They are trying to grow up and become wiser. We are the ones who are already wise. So instead of expecting them to understand and listen to our every order, I think it makes sense for us to kind of understand them that they are just trying to grow. They're going to try every little thing and slowly move to that perfection, right? And it is our responsibility to slowly move them towards their perfect self. But getting upset over why are you not perfect, you're not supposed to do this, you're supposed to do this, then I'm a parent, it's my job to slowly guide them there. Why am I getting angry? Why am I expecting them day one that they should be perfect in everything, right? And sometimes it's good to also ask, is it kids' responsibility to keep parents happy? Because this is what it has become, that small things kids don't listen. Hey, you are making me upset, because of you I get angry all the time. No, I am creating anger because I had this expectation that you should do this X, Y, and Z. Now kid decides to be a kid or whatever they are going through, they said they want to do it their way, and now I am creating anger and then blaming the child that, hey, you were supposed to listen to me so that I could be happy. But isn't the parent supposed to keep the child happy? It's become the other way around. We are wanting children to understand us, children to keep us happy, children to give us respect. But we are the ones who are supposed to give all this to the children so that they learn how to give it back to us one day. But right now, I think it's just time for them to be a kid and learn. Any thoughts or question before I move on to the next slide? All right. What are some of the damages from anger? Now, this is why this is very important to understand, is because many times, till we don't realize the damage every emotional deficiency does, we tend to keep it with us. We human beings are, what should we say, very business-like people. So we like to keep everything that is good for us, essential for us, which is actually a very smart move. But if we think anger is also something that is very useful, very needed and essential, then guess what? We will keep it. And then whatever we keep grows in us. So first, let's try to understand what are the damages it does. I think majority of this you all might already know. So I'll do a quick revision through it. It first of all annihilates the self. The parent itself feels like they're getting destructed day by day. What is getting destructed? Lot of their self-esteem, their confidence as a parent goes away. They have a constant repentance and guilt over yelling at the kid. And indeed, our core need, every human being's core need is peace. The moment you're angry, the most essential requirement of a human being is destroyed. Why? What do we want from life? Ask yourself. I don't think there will be a single being who will not say peace, love, and happiness. If they say money or relationship, you'll ask them why, they will say again, peace, love, happiness. So anger annihilates my core need. So number one reason for all kinds of physical diseases, high blood pressure, all kinds of kidney diseases, liver related diseases, the root cause, if you read up on internet about this, you'll find it is anger. It releases such harmful hormones that the brain gets negatively impacted. Lot of memory areas are destroyed. So it's a very, very damaging emotion that not only destroys our emotional, spiritual health, our relationship, but also our physical health. And then on top of it, we cannot focus at all when you're fuming with anger, literally a time bomb ready to go off. At that time, if you have to focus and make any decisions, impossible, because I am restless. My expectations, my happiness is dependent on those expectations to be met, and they are not being met, right? And then anger actually annihilates everything. We already saw quite a bit here, but kids that are raised in such kind of an environment, they feel very insecure. Many parents come and ask, how do we raise the confidence of the kid and how do we make them? Well, this is one important factor. If the parent is well balanced in high dignity and self respect, the kids automatically copy. Words actually don't help at all, and sending them to class is also very little impact. We, the parents, are with them majority of the time. Our every action is speaking way louder than any word or any other class. So if I can demonstrate a lot of peace, love, and confidence in my parenting style, safety in my parenting style, the kid is automatically secured. But this one, there is a part of them that starts feeling very, very unsafe around us, because they know that certain things, if they do, they are really insecure at that particular moment. You are not going to be there for them. So guess what? They start hiding things from us, because if they see repeated use of anger, then they start inside calculating, oh my gosh, I need to hide this, I need to hide this. They're going to get angry about this also. So sometimes when we are not taking care of our own emotional health, our spiritual health, we are too busy only focusing on work or gadgets. People spend a lot of time on phones these days. So phones and work is the favorite hobby of majority of the people, or socialization on the phone again. And if we are not taking out the time to keep our spiritual, mental, emotional health in God, then without even realizing, many times anger is something that crops up, and it really causes the kids to stop sharing many things with us. And the scary part here is then they go and share these things with their friends who are not mature enough. So they are getting their guidance, their decisions. They're using their decisions to decide about important things in life rather than coming to the parent. So another thing is, when we keep using anger repeatedly, it does get instilled in the child too. So the now child will also grow up to be someone who tends to get angry very easily. So if the upbringing, if the sustenance is with anger, then the child also learns how to get angry in a subconscious manner. And indeed, the relationship suffers because it's a closed relationship. The kid feels safe only in certain situation with the parent, and slowly they start withdrawing from a lot of things. So it is indeed a very damaging emotion, very violent emotion. Any thoughts or questions? Please keep asking as we go through it. Now, few different things that are also very important to understand are that there are certain beliefs that sustain anger in us. And these two are the top ones. If I want to talk about them, there are many different, but many times we feel I am not the creator of anger at all. We will blame it on others. It's because of you. I am actually a very loving, very kind, very peaceful person. It's only these one or two people in my life that cause anger. They are the ones who make me angry. Simple fact is, how does anger get created? It gets created through my thoughts. Bunch of thoughts. They shouldn't have said this. How dare they say it? How could they do this to me? When I create these kind of thoughts, really desperate, oh my gosh, this bare minimum expectation, they can't even meet this bare minimum expectation. I didn't even have high expectations. I can't believe it. They can't even meet my bare minimum expectation. Super mad. I am the one who's creating anger through my thoughts. The other person could have done good or bad, doesn't matter. But I chose to create angry thoughts. So I am the creator of anger. And we all know, you might see many parents, same exact situation. One parent can be extremely loving and caring even in that situation, whereas the other parent will be mad with anger. They can't stop yelling at the child, and the other parent is just completely calm about it. So, indeed, it is not the issue, it is not anything outside. It is really internal, the way I process information outside. Some parents know how to process it more wisely and they can remain peaceful, whereas others are little weaker internally. They are dependent on others to make them happy. So they get very upset when the other person doesn't listen and is not trying hard to make them happy. So they get super upset. Hey, this was something that I was looking forward to and you didn't do it. And one other thing where we feel anger is natural. It is part of human being. Anger is a natural quality of human beings. Well, my take and Brahmakumari's take at it is no, it is not. There's not a single human being who will say, anger, please come to me. I need to go to sleep. Without you, I can't sleep. End of the day, I am super tired, exhausted. We don't invite anger to our life. We want only peace, love, and happiness. Every human being craves to be peaceful, not to be angry. If it was anger was my natural innate quality, I would be craving to be angry. I would feel frustrated when I'm peaceful. Right? Anything that is natural, first of all, feels very comfortable. Anger is not comfortable. It makes us boiling, and our surrounding is also boiling with temper. How can it be comfortable? And if it is not comfortable, it is not natural. It's an acquired emotion. So, very important to acknowledge that if we say it is natural means what? It is innate to me means what? You can't change anything that is intrinsic. Because it is acquired, a foreign quality, you can say, oh my gosh, this is not even part of me, out of here. I am so uncomfortable with you, out of here. But if I say this is my innate quality, impossible. You can't get rid of it. It is intrinsic. It's part of you. Right? So these are very subtle things, but if I don't understand it clearly, I feel we can never get rid of anger. One other big factor which sustains anger is a necessary emotion. You need it, absolutely need it for parenting. If this is my belief, then yes, we can forget about getting rid of anger. Our design is anything that we feel is necessary, we are going to use it. And anything that we use, we all know, is habit forming. It grows in us. So maybe day one, when my child was first 1 year old only, once in a while I would get angry. But I felt anger absolutely necessary to bring control in kids' life. Needed. Guess what? Second year, lot more angrier than last year. And now I'm in the teenage phase. Now the child is competing with me in getting angry. This becomes a huge part of me. So if I believe anger is necessary, I will use it and it will grow in me. A very violent emotion I am saying is necessary. So this particular line is very interesting. We are taught at Brahmakumaris. First of all, anger itself is not the right emotion, right? It's a very violent emotion. I think everybody would agree. And now we are saying, I am using anger to correct something. This is wrong. So I want to make it right. But what is the method I am using? A violent method. So does the anger, does that emotion even have the right to say something is not right? Right? There's something to think about. We are saying I'm trying to fix something, but how am I trying to fix it? By using a violent emotion. So this person I'm calling wrong, but then I'm using a wrong method to fix. So something to think about. Our ego creates all kinds of stories to justify and keep anger. So at Brahmakumaris, we are given pricky, pointed thoughts so that we can dissolve that ego and say, my gosh, you've been fooling me. I've been calling other person wrong, but I myself am wrong when I'm using anger. So then what right do I have to correct anyone? First, I need to correct my method. Then only I can call someone wrong. And many times we use anger because if remember, one of the root cause of anger is self-respect. We feel if they listen to us, obey our every command, then we feel respect. So many times parents also use anger to feel that, that esteem, that, hey, I am the higher one. I am the one who calls shots here. Now, and we feel, oh my gosh, my child is listening to me. They're agreeing to everything. But really, the child does not have any respect for the parent inside. It's just out of fear of that yelling, that they remain quiet and don't do anything. But this is literally, once the child will listen for some time, eventually when they grow up, they start giving back. And that is when the parent gets very surprised that, oh my gosh, my own child is doing this to me. But they received this from us, maybe, possible. I'm not saying each one of us is doing it, but some of us have, and then the child copy it back. And to me, it is really a bandage fix. Yes, sometimes yelling and shouting gets their attention and they feel scared and they will cooperate. But really, did they understand why we yelled? Why did we not want to do that? They don't understand it. To them, it is as simple as if I do this, I will get yelling. So I should not do it in front of my parents. But when the parents are gone, we can keep doing it because there is nobody to yell. So this clear message, as a parent, it was my job to teach them why I didn't want them to do what they did. Instead of really teaching them, well, I just yelled. And I'm like, yeah, I try to teach them 1 or 2 times. They don't get it. So yelling is the only choice. But they still didn't get why I'm saying no to something. So yes, it is a very bandage fix. And the moment I am out of sight, they're going to continue doing what I have asked them not to do. So as a parent, did I succeed? in using anger? Or did I fail because now I fell in their eyes? They don't have any real respect for me in their hearts. Any thoughts or questions so far? So let's get to that question in the chat a bit later, or in few minutes. We don't have that much time, but we will get to that question. Now, what is the vitamin A for curing anger, right? And really, if we think about it, one, we talked about the root cause is expectation, expectations from the child to behave in a certain way, to talk in a certain way, to do things in a certain way, certain order, and blah, blah, blah. So I need to accept the reality. It doesn't mean that I don't teach the kid, I don't have certain boundaries. Yes, I do. But I do need to accept the reality that the child at every moment is trying to grow up to be an individual adult, not an exact carbon replica of mine. So if I want a carbon replica of mine, I should first check, am I perfect? Really, do I want someone to be exactly like me? The way I eat, the way I sit, how much time I take, how much cleanliness I keep, everything has to be like me. That is when I am happy. So these are some questions we should ask ourselves, and I would highly recommend you all to note down today the number of expectations you might have from your kid. Note today itself how many did you have, and check, are these all absolutely necessary? Because ego will create all kinds of stories. Yeah, absolutely, this is for their own good. But check, is it really for their own good, or you feeling comfortable? Because you like things to be in certain order. You want them to be exactly like you. So now acceptance doesn't mean that I have changed my principles, my beliefs and everything, and I'm like, okay, child, whatever is your opinion, I am going to be like you. No. It means that I accept that you are different at this particular point of time, your growth, you are different. And if I find that difference to be going to be problematic once you grow up to be an adult, I will slowly guide you and see if I can get you to the right place. But I know that it will take some time for you to get there. And for some of it, like eating habits, sleeping habits, cleanliness habits, those we might never match. You might still continue to be the way you want to be. So I might not agree with your cleanliness habits, your eating habits, your sleeping habits, but I accept that you are unique and an individual. I would never want you to accept everything from others. That means they become a puppet. So do we want to raise a puppet or an individual who can make good decisions? Right? So a lot of times this expectation is nothing but a form of controlling others. And instead of doing that, at Brahmakumaris, we are taught, why not try to control your own thoughts and feelings by saying it's okay. The child is still trying to grow up. I have time and I will slowly guide them towards their perfect self. It doesn't happen one day, 2 days, sometimes even in a year. It takes time. But I need to maintain faith that this child will grow up to be a beautiful adult. Um, Now, the second one is also that remembrance of the awareness of the self, because the other one was my respect, my self respect depends upon the child, how obedient they are, right? So, when I remember who I truly am and who others are, there are two different ways to think about this. And in the interest of time, I won't be able to go into the depth of it, but each one of us is really this tiny point of light, a soul. And this is the physical body we all have taken. And so really each soul is playing many roles, wearing different masks. We are playing many roles. So I am playing the role of a parent, and the child is also playing a role, of a child. So I need to emerge this awareness that each one of us is playing a role. And when I don't like the role, I need to detach myself and really connect to my beautiful qualities. So the soul's natural qualities are purity, peace, love, happiness, all the beautiful and powerful qualities. So every time I find a disturbance in the play between the parent and child, I need to detach that the child is just playing a role of the child. End of the day is a beautiful soul with full of qualities, and I am playing a parent facilitator role. So I need to see how can I keep my qualities immersed, and how can I inspire this other character in this drama, my child, to also show those beautiful qualities. That is our role, right, as a parent, to emerge the beautiful qualities in me, always keep them emerged, and also see how we can get the child's beautiful qualities emerged. Bottom line is, in this drama, we are a variety, it's a variety actor drama. There is no character that is matching with one another. We are all unique in our own ways. Anger is a result of, why are you not like this? I like it to be like this. Why are you not like this? Oh, well, because it's a variety drama. How boring would a movie be if everybody was just smiling, and or everybody was crying, everybody was funny? No, we want a variety, and that is what makes the whole play interesting. So instead of busy trying to control everyone and be exactly like me, play a role exactly like me, I need to detach and say, oh my gosh, what a beautiful drama. My child is completely different, unique from me. I preserve their uniqueness, and yet I want to see how I can pass on some of my good qualities, right? So the awareness changes, anger dissolves. So really, these are two main crucial factors. And I'm just trying to so so we do have few questions. Please go ahead and unmute yourself and start speaking. I want to take a pause here, and whoever wants to ask their questions, let's take some questions now. How does one let those original qualities emerge? Um, this is indeed, if I want my awareness to change, right, that I am this soul. Anger is foreign to me. I'm naturally peaceful. This is something that we need to practice every day. So meditation is one way to increase our awareness. If you've not taken Raj Yoga meditation course, there is one that is starting next week on Saturday. It is free. Feel free to register on our website, svbrahmakumaris.org. And also every day feeding the mind with positive information. There are many beautiful blogs which talk about mind-blowing thoughts, elevated thoughts. There are many at Brahmakumaris as well. If you search for Brahmakumari blogs, you'll find many. So highly recommend reading and meditation every day. We as parents need to be emotionally at a very high level. That's when we can pull our kids to be at that high confidence level. Are you all not able to talk? Let me just check one more time. Yeah, if you want to unmute yourself, feel free to do so, please.
Thank you so much for your answer. Sorry, I was feeding
Okay,
my child.
okay.
Yeah, I had a question that, like, supposing, like your spouse is not on the same page and he has those expectations from the child, and what do you do as one parent? Like,
Yeah, yeah. Um, you know, like I think this so everybody knows. Obviously, at that particular moment, you don't want to interfere because it gets even more worse, right? When you interfere, unless it's getting very violent or something like that, then how do you gently interfere and get everything settled, right? But this is really for when one of the things that it depends again where your relationship is at, right? Majority of the times when we are at that partner spouse relationship, we've generally exchanged a lot of words and things, and that the words don't pay any, they don't matter that much anymore, right? So if you have a spiritual enlightenment, doesn't mean that your spouse will get it and they will understand it. In fact, it's a little foolish to expect them to, because everybody's spiritual journey is very different. It kicks in at a different time, right? But few things that you can do to get them there, which is my personal experience. One is to really maintain very high regard for the spouse, that in their own ways, they are trying to actually do good for the child. And there is a lot of ignorance in this world, so parents are not, many parents are not getting angry because they think anger is bad and they're still using it. No, majority of the parents who use anger, they already feel quite guilty about it, or they don't want to do it, yet they keep doing it. So if a spouse is using anger, one is could be ignorance, because majority of the parents are ignorant. They feel anger is needed, and after that they actually feel guilty too. So if you're feeling guilty, then how can anger be necessary, right? But nobody is thinking this deeply. So, really, not having any kind of critical or judgmental feelings for your partner is very essential. Otherwise, if you are sending this judgmental, critical thoughts, your partner will never get it that anger is not okay. They will feel that you are against them. So, you want to have some good feelings, and in meditation, really look at your partner as a very peaceful and loving parent. Literally, they are this. And it's a reality of every human soul that they are full of love and peace. We have forgotten. Majority of us are asleep. So if you are the awakened one, then it's our responsibility to awaken others through our subtle vibrations and demonstrate every time, demonstrate how you are using acceptance, your true awareness to guide the child. This will automatically inspire them. But anger gets even more aggravated if you have disrespect for the person. Because one of the things anger is trying to do is to feel respect through it, right?
right.
So if I create disrespect for the spouse, hey, you're using wrong method, they're going to use it even more. So long answer, but that is what it is.
That was very helpful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
My pleasure. Um, I had few examples also prepared. Feel free to again speak up after this. We can take live questions, live scenarios where, for example, some of us might tend to get angry. Feel free to bring those up. Now, this random example that I have taken here, I don't think it is as random. This happens a lot, I think, in everybody's house. Here, the example is the child is lying about them studying, whereas they were actually playing video games. You know they were not studying, you have all the proof that they were playing video games, but the child insists they were studying. Now, in this kind of situation, first of all, I did want to mention here, a lot of times we think anger means I need to be peaceful. You cannot be peaceful till you have accepted the reality. reality that is dark, reality that is ugly, reality that is not pretty. Till we don't accept it, that this is it, this is how it is, there is a difference in our opinion, and I'm okay with it. When I say it's okay, different, my child is different, is growing up, is making mistakes, it is okay, I accept. That is when peace will come. If I say I want to be peaceful, I want to be peaceful, oh my gosh, my child is lying, I need to be peaceful. No, it's not going to happen. I need to simply say, part of growing up, they're going to use all kinds of tricks, right? So what are few thoughts we can generate to accept this situation? If you all can help me with it. Anybody?
I will say okay, but then maybe we can just put, like, there are a lot of apps, right, where we can tell them, okay, you will be able to watch it, but this much of time, not like all the time.
True, true. No, good point. Because see, if we are not using anger, it doesn't mean we let the child do whatever they want. No, parenting is needed. But we want to move towards loving and caring, peaceful parenting, right? So it does, that loving, caring parenting doesn't mean it is no action and ignorant and just letting the child do whatever. No, that is called insensitive or unconcerned parenting, right? No, we are concerned parents. So yes, there will be certain discipline, but that is more the next step. How do we accept it? How do we accept that the child is lying to us and not get mad?
Hi.
Hi.
So thank you for this. I've been having actually this challenge quite a bit. And recently I found a little bit of peace in it, and understanding that he needs to make his own decisions. He's going to have to do that in life as well. And he's going to have to learn some of them are not the right decision.
Yeah.
And that's been very difficult, especially on that topic for me, but it's definitely been helpful to understand that.
Wonderful. Yes.
Hi. It's depend on the age. I would approach and tell them, okay, this time, and you are welcome to check with the parents before you go and do this. I'm open to it, you know. So
Right.
more we are, you know, punishing them or trying to keep them away from whatever they liked, the more likely to they hide and lie.
Right.
Very true. Very true. What I wanted to also kind of leave with is that, you know, instead of just putting the whole blame and responsibility on the child, I have to check, why couldn't they be more open here? Why couldn't they just say that, hey, I was, you know, watching video game because I wanted to take a break? Why were they not able to say this? So instead of just putting the blame on the child, I need to check, have I been too strict? Have I not given them enough time to be the child that they want to be? So we need to take some responsibility on ourselves. I think majority of the things you brought up is really for future, next action. How do we correct it? But even before correcting, I will not be able to correct if I have created disturbance inside. My disturbance will not allow them to accept my suggestion. It's only when I am okay, you as a child are growing up, you are going to try everything to be a naughty child or mischievous child. That is okay. It is my job as a parent to slowly guide you towards the right path. It might take years. Some things you will get it very easily. Other things, I know as a parent, it will take you longer. And I need to ask myself, have I never ever lied? Have I not tested the patience of my parents? Ask ourselves, right? A lot of times we take things very personally, as if my only child or only my child is doing that. Oh my gosh, all kids are doing it. Day in and day out, they are doing it. And we need to keep checking, why are they doing it? Could I have done something different? So give the responsibility to both of them, that one, what are some changes I can make so that the environment becomes very open, they're able to openly do things. And in this case, we might say, hey, every day I allow them to watch at least half an hour, 1 hour. But I need to check today's standard. The video requirement, the gadget requirement is a lot higher. Parents, grandparents only need 10 hours of gadgets every day. Look at the research these days. How much gadgets are parents using? And the kids, they are this generation. They need even more high time. So if I should first check how much am I on the gadgets. So there are multiple things which I am giving the wrong signal. And if everything is clean there, then it is really, I have to remember that it's my role to move them towards their perfect self. And it's a lifetime journey. We ourselves have not become perfect right now. And we are now trying to guide our kids to move towards their perfect self. It will take time. And yes, we need to gently have that heart-to-heart conversation that, hey, you need to, I know that you lied, not maybe at that particular moment, and make them feel uncomfortable but at a later time. If this is becoming a repeated pattern, we do need to let them know that, hey, I know that you lie. I hope you can really be more open with me, because then it makes me very hard to trust you. And explain them that once we lose trust, how difficult it becomes for them and for us, right? Sorry, I'm rushing through all this, but I think we are all out of time. If any one of you have a minute or two, please stay back for meditation. And then we will meet again next week at the same time. And we're going to cover bondages, which is nothing literally like feeling, as if suffocated with a lot of things related to parenting, a burden, when parenting feels like a burden. So that will be the topic for next week. And if you have a minute, please stay back for meditation. And I'd appreciate if you can all please mute
Thank you.
yourself. Yeah. I am a beautiful, loving, and a kind parent. Patience, mercy, forgiveness, these come naturally to me. Instead of expecting the child to understand me, to listen to me, I, the wise parent, the mature parent, try to understand the child as they make mistakes, as they fall down in the trail of reaching their perfection. Instead of wanting them to listen to me, I, the smart one, listen to their every voice, the outer and the inner voice. I, the parent, is already full, already complete as a soul. And I, the perfect, beautiful soul, the actor, performs the role of a parent with elegance and dignity. I am a beautiful, inside out parent. Thank you everyone for joining me today. And hope you have a wonderful rest of the day and next week. And I'll see you again, same time on Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sister.
Thanks, everyone.
Om Shanti, sister. Thank you.
Om Shanti. Thank you.